Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. Thank you for joining me. We're going to take a look at the first chart of the new year of 2022. And this is going to be the new moon in Capricorn, taking place on January 2nd, 2022, 1:45 p.m. Eastern, but times will vary. So I always tell people, because I'm trying to get people to more pay attention to their solar returns, and normally those are more powerful, and I would say, well, January 1st means absolutely nothing in astrology, which for the most part it really doesn't, but this year is going to be that the exception this year coming up, because right before then there's going to be three big things happening here. We've got Jupiter going to 0 Pisces. I believe that happens like maybe December 29th or 30th. So just a couple days before, Jupiter changes from Aquarius into Pisces. And then a couple days after, or soon after, when is that exactly going to happen? That's going to actually happen like mid-January, but the nodes are about to change sign. They're down at their final degrees of the Sagittarius-Gemini axis. And then also we're having this new moon like one day after the new year. So there is a big shift of energy that's kicking off this new year, big time. And this new moon is all part of it. So the new moon is right here. It's going to be at 12 degrees of Capricorn. Oh, this is not quite right. Sorry about that. It should be 12:21. I must have messed up doing this chart. You know what happened was this chart wasn't in there. I missed it when I did all the New Year charts. So I had to just run and do it real quick, and I messed up on that a little. So the 1:45 is probably not exactly right. It's going to be a little bit earlier than that, maybe 1:40 or something like that. But at any rate, it's that's it. It's the new moon at 12:21 would be the. I'm not going to go rerun the chart right now. I'm already set up, so we're gonna roll with this, because nothing else would be different besides the last degree of that moon there. But anyways, so 12 degrees of Capricorn. So what's Capricorn all about? Well, Capricorn Saturn, Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn. Oh, I forgot to do all the other stuff too. Oh well, we don't have that. But Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, okay? Let's back it up. So Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and it rules the bones in our bodies. It rules structure. It rules foundations. So anything that we're trying to begin, that we want to have a strong foundation, a strong structure, would be a good time to start at this time frame. Now Venus is retrograde in Capricorn. We've got some retrogrades going on. But there's always going to be some kind of a retrograde. By the foundations, maybe it's not, out there with your shovel, digging the foundation. Maybe it's, the foundation of mapping it all out, writing it all out, getting the ideas, bringing it into form. Because Saturn is very much about form and structure in the 3D reality. We have to remember too, though, that Capricorn is the ruler of the 10th house in the flat wheel, which is what we're using here. It's always the ruler of the midheaven, the 10th house. So that's what we're striving for. It's career. It's things like this. So it's a great time to launch something having to do with career. A great time. Something launched now could have great success in the long term. This is long-term goals and ambitions. This isn't a flash in the pan, here today, gone tomorrow. The other thing is, it's in a very tight, it's trining this Uranus in Taurus. So, in this modern day, with Uranus and the internet being so important in this modern day, it could be something that goes viral, say, or something that really takes off, or something that through social media or something on the internet that it really catches fire. Viral is another. I'm just going to make another video about that. I made the video about how we should stop saying everything's crazy. Well, we should stop using the term viral so much too, because now we're dealing with a pandemic and it's a virus, because everybody's talking about, let's go viral. Yeah, let's go viral. No, let's not go viral. Or put the brakes on that. That's another thing that we need to stop saying. I was going to do another video on it, but sometimes I just don't have time and I throw them in these videos, but these downloads I get. Yeah, so something could really take off, and on the internet or something like that, and propel it to this heightened the top of the chart, to being at the top of the heap. Top of the heap, a number one, da 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 da. If you've never seen my videos, a lot of times I do get songs coming through. I'm not just randomly rambling here. I do get songs, and often they do You know, spirit guides talk to me in that way, and often they do carry a message. So that was, of course, Sinatra. What is that? These little town blues. Da, 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 da. New York, New York. It isn't that funny. I always run the charts for New York, New York. I wonder if something's going to go down in New York. Could be. Might be. But let's continue with the chart. Besides trining Uranus, which could mean sudden turnabouts or things taking off on the internet, it's also squaring with the Chiron here. So the ability to heal wounds, heal obstacles, get past obstacles, to achieve, to the things that have been, the wounds that have been holding us back from achieving whatever we're shooting for. We still have the Pluto, this is going to be going on a lot, this Pluto-Venus conjunction here. So there's that power, money, passion, you know, but it adds fuel to the flame. You can always turn these things around into something positive. You can always turn it around as something positive. You can harness this energy to achieve anything that you're trying to achieve at all, in everything in life. Okay, so let's just see, that's that. It's trying the Uranus. We've got the Mercury conjunct the MC conjunct Pluto. They're saying it's conjunct Pluto. I guess it isn't a wide orb conjunction. But here's another thing about this whole January 1st time frame. It's the second, but this whole little bubble, you know, a couple days before we've got Jupiter going into Pisces, a couple days after we've got the new moon, and we've got Mercury is going 0 degrees too. We've got zeros and zeros. So this is turning over a new leaf, starting a new beginning. Mercury is going into Aquarius, and what comes through from the guides, what I'm getting is we will realize the power of our own words. Words have resonance and frequency, and we can realize the power of our own words. Well, you could take that a couple ways, I guess. You know, you could take that as, you know, be careful what you say and be careful what you wish for, that kind of thing. But also what I'm feeling like, I feel like manifestation could really be accelerated. Like we could start seeing like crazy acceleration of manifestation with the Capricorn, because it's very much in the 3D reality. Uranus and Taurus is very much in the overall in the earth plane, you know, in the 3D reality. And so, you know, there's the positive thing, the negative side of this, with the Uranus and Taurus kind of vibe, and the Mercury and Aquarius, you know, this Aquarian Uranian vibe, is you can get like kind of jittery and kind of not be grounded and not be, you know, get anxiety or, you know, get that jittery kind of thing going. But the positive side is, you know, we could bring about manifestation from the higher planes, the higher resonance, into the earth plane with the Taurus Capricorn energy, bring it down to 3D reality, manifest it in the earth plane, and it could happen really quickly. It could be very accelerated. Things that you might have thought would take years and years, it could be happening like lightning speed. Especially Capricorn, that's like slow and steady wins the race. You think of Capricorn, the goat, you know, patiently climbing to the top of that mountain. You know, you could just like zip. It could happen like very quickly. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. This is trining the nodes and stuff. We got Pluto, Venus, sextiling the Neptune. Yeah, this Pluto, Venus is sextiling the Neptune. You know, you can make your dreams become a reality. Bring them into the reality in a big way. You know, in a big way. I think that's an after effect of people like staying home from their jobs. You know, they're realizing, you know, this isn't what I dreamed for my life. You know, I want to dream what I wanted, what I'm really here for, which is actually really cool because they're awakening to their true soul's purpose. You know, it can be really cool. It can be chaotic. You know, that's another thing about Neptune, and Pluto too, can bring the chaos. Neptune would be more chaotic, like with lack of clarity. You know, things are chaotic because you can't really put your finger on it. Where, you know, Pluto can be really disruptive, that kind of chaos. But with chaos, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. From the chaos blossoms all this new stuff that's happening. The new moon, the 0 degrees. You know, even the part of fortune is at 0 degrees. Conjunct the 1 degree node, which is also shining a light on here. Speak your truth is what's coming through. Speak your truth. Speak your mind. Clear your mind. find that clarity of mind, which is a thing that Uranus and that can do. It can pull you to a higher level to get you out of all the chatter and the lower vibrational chattering, you know, where you get caught in that loop or that hamster on that wheel, just, you know, chattering on and on in your mind. You can get to a different place with it. You can have that. I always compare it to like the mouse and the hawk or the eagle energy. You know, the mouse is scurrying around, worrying, blah blah blah. Where's my next meal going to come from? Da, 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 scurry, scurry, scurry. And the raptor is sitting up on the branch, just like, you know, there it is. I see my next meal, and it's you. You know, this is also trying that palace. So there's that brilliant idea thing. When I think of palace, I always think of the brilliant ideas. The new moon itself is trining the palace. So that's like some kind of brilliant ideas could spring forth. You know, this palace is also squaring the Mars. So it's just like you may feel really motivated to work on something. It's a good time for problem solving with this kind of energy. Like maybe it's something, you know, it's half the time that's what it is. It's something, you know, a problem that somebody confronts. And it's just like, I'd have a solution for this problem. And then other people are like, yeah, that's such a great idea. I never thought of that. Like just between the time frame of when my kids were little and then my grandkids, all the different things they've come up with babies, you know, because somebody had that idea. Boy, I wish I could do like for instance, now they have these images that change colors on the diaper when they're wet, you know. So somebody said, well, I wish that I could tell when they were wet. And you can now. You can just look at it and see. So things like that. It might have to do with like travel or education because it's like Sagittarius, you know. Travel problems, solve the traffic jam stuff problems, or, you know, things like that. Like some kind of or an app, you know. A lot of these apps and even these how-to videos. Like I have another channel where I do... I have a few other YouTube channels, but one of them I just started years ago just posting little things as they came up. And this one stupid video about how to turn the volume down on my landline phone, it's got like crazy amounts of views. It still gets views like crazy. It was just some problem I encountered, and it's just like, well, I don't see a video about it yet. Let me make a quick video about it. And it turns out it could be like that. It could be a video. With Neptune, it could be a video too. You know, those videos, they're what they call evergreen because people are always trying to figure this stuff out, you know. So it could be, Neptune could be make a video about some problem, but it could be something that out of frustration that you're just like, you know, I'm going to build a better mousetrap here. I'm going to build a better mousetrap and I'm going to put it out there either through a video or maybe through some sort of product that you could sell, you know, or an app or, you know, anything. But it may come out of a sense of frustration that this new thing could bloom forth. Okay, we've got the Jupiter squaring the nodes. Yeah, the Jupiter squaring the nodes, that's interesting too, because we're really getting that last call, you know, that there's this, whenever Jupiter's involved, even if it's a square, squares sometimes bring up aggravation, you know, tension, like I was just talking about, you know, out of issues. But see, with Jupiter, when Jupiter's involved, it often can be resolved in a favorable way, in a positive way, in a way that's beneficial or lucky or good fortune. It brings that element of good fortune with it. So anything that's been going on here, maybe with communication, any writers out there, this could be a very good time to really have that breakthrough on your writing or your art, or whatever you're communicating, because art is music is a form. All the arts are a form of communication. It could be down in your personal life if you want to try to talk to somebody, and or maybe you've been trying to talk to somebody. Maybe you've been trying to get a meeting with somebody, or maybe you've just been trying to get through to one of these, whoever, like the utility company or something in the government. You know, you can't get through or whatever, and you could maybe finally break through and get through. But when I say breakthrough, that really resonates. So it could be a breakthrough. You know, many of us could be having breakthroughs. There's an opportunity for a breakthrough here. Okay, let's see here. it's also trying, the Mercury is making an exact trine pretty close with this node too. Yeah, so that's really powerful, because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, and that's this north node. That's where the powdered fortune is. That's the north node. We've got it activated through the Jupiter, and we've got it activated through Mercury, its own ruling planet. So speaking our truth, channels of communication, they're saying the flow of the river. That's what they're talking about. What they're showing me is like rocks in the river. That's what I'm seeing. Like, the river's flowing. It's flowing pretty quickly is what I'm seeing. It's flowing really quickly. And then there's rocks in the river. And then they're showing me that the water... Here's what's coming through. They're talking about, you are only parted for this brief moment in time. What is of the same countenance will always rejoin itself again. I like that. I should write that down. I'll have to listen to it later if I remember. Yeah, meaning like this water is all one stream, and it comes to this rock, it goes around it, but then it rejoins it again. Because it's all of the same countenance. Is that what they said? Countenance? Yeah. So it's all of the same countenance, and it will be rejoined again. It's only a temporary state. So, I mean, that could be a lot of things for a lot of people, whatever that maybe that resonates for you on a personal level. Especially for people who maybe, because of lockdowns or whatever, can't be with their families. I mean, it could relate to things like that. It could be like ashes to ashes, dust to dust, It could be like, yeah, we're going to return to spirit. It could be a lot of different things, but it's, yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Let's keep looking at this thing. There's got to be some more stuff. Saturn is squaring the Uranus. Yeah, that's a thing. Saturn is squaring the Uranus, and this is all part of this 10 to 12 degree mark. So especially those of you who do have that, have that spot in your chart, a 12 degree of anything, you're getting hit one way or the other. 12 degrees, and then the 0 degrees is going to be real prominent and real prevalent. Oh, I didn't think about that. South node's going to hit my 0 Sag thing. Yeah. See, I never remember my own chart. I'm doing private readings. It's like, oh yeah, I have that coming up too, because I don't have time to look at my own chart. Yeah, that should be interesting. It'd be pretty good for me. Yeah, but the Saturn square is the Uranus, the old versus the new, the restriction versus freedom, the patriarchy versus the galaxy. The 3D reality versus the multi-dimensional realms. It's a lot. It's a thing. It's a huge thing that's been going on, and I believe it's just going to continue to go on. I don't think we're done with the Saturn-Uranus squares. And also, it's like they're in their opposite elements. Uranus is in the Aquarius rules Uranus, so that's dead on. But even though this doesn't rule Taurus, it's in the earth realm, like we were just talking about, how everything's really earthy and bringing it down to, and that's the highest possible realization of bringing down the new earth, in melding of the higher dimensional realms into the 3D reality. That's the highest outcome, or the way to utilize this. It's going on all over the place, and it could bring, instant manifestation. It could bring, I feel what's happening is you're jumping timelines. You're jumping timelines into a timeline, where that connection is there. My guides say that there's like thousands and millions of timelines. That it's just innumerable. So it's not like there's just one or two. And they say every minute of every day we're jumping timelines. With every nanosecond, with every split second that we're making these other connections. So it's interesting, and there's so many people that are awakening and trying to process through this Chiron energy, process through the old wounds, the old grief. We're coming in and we're bringing in this higher dimensional frequencies, and that's what's happening. And you can utilize it, or you could fight against it. You can fight against it because you want the way things always have been, clinging to the past, and it was always better, and this and that, like a lot of older people feel like, oh, in the 50s it was so great with Leave It to Beaver. Yeah, in the 50s, so A lot of bad things that were going on. And and it's a fantasy too, because all these old timers that I know that talk about this stuff as if it were the good old days, they had their lives were horrible. There was no, 696 kids or anything either. They were getting beat by their parents, and, whatever, poverty, there was no safety net for women to, it was horrible. Women had no options, and then they stayed in abusive marriages, and so those, even though that was what being depicted with Donna Reed and Leave It to Beaver and all this, that wasn't the reality of what things were. Their lives were not better. Their lives, their lives were not good. They weren't living that life. I don't know anybody who had that kind of life, or anybody's parents who said like they had to Leave It to Beaver life. It's a complete, well, just like, next generation, come to my generation, the Brady Bunch, Nobody had the Brady Bunch house. Come on. If anybody had that Brady Bunch house, you can leave it in the comments. But that didn't exist either. It was just a fantasy. It wasn't the reality. It was a fantasy. So we always want to move forward. It's inevitable. It's inescapable, and it's inevitable. We are an expanding universe, and we must expand. We must move forward. So that's what's happening. Even though it's in the sign of Capricorn, it's building the structure, laying the foundation that could lead to lots of success. Lots of success, not only in the new year, but and beyond. And beyond. It's a great time for new beginnings. Venus is retrograde. That's one minor thing, but everything else, this is a great time. This is going to be the most powerful because most people don't watch astrology or care about it. And everybody does, in our society. We make our New Year's resolutions on that January 1st. But here's one thing. Resolutions are never a good thing. You don't want to talk about what you don't want to do. You want to do New Year's affirmations are much better. And so you want to do what you want to do. You want to see what you want to create. You want to, because it's in the sign of Earth, if you wanted to do some sort of a little ritual, you might want to, bury it in the dirt outside. Write it down on a leaf or something, or a list, and then bury it down in the dirt outside, because put it in the earth so it can grow. You could maybe do something like that, but it's definitely, and you should definitely maybe try to be outside in the earth, walking in, get outside and at least walk in your backyard or to a park if you don't have a backyard. But if you could get like really somewhere where there's like a forest, or, that would, because it's such a powerful earth energy that's going on here. And we can ground it into the earth. And when you're out in that forest and that nature, they already are doing that. Nature already does that. Like my guides are saying, like the trees, they see it all. They see like all the stuff that's going on that we might get little glimpses of, but we're not really in the same dimensional realm as. The trees see it. They're there. They're already connected to higher realm and the earth. So when you're in that, that's that peace, that quiet, that stillness that you can get, and a clear mind is what's needed in order to access the higher realms, in order to create the 3D reality life that you're wanting to create. Okay? All right, everybody. Well, it is going to be a powerful new year, that's for certain. Venus, Pluto, a lot of things are happening. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you do want to get in, if you're watching this still in December, you've got, to the end of the December to get that year ahead reading. People are ordering it. And thanks for everybody who's been ordering and order every year. It's been another great season of doing the year ahead reading. So if you want to get in on the actual year ahead reading, I have other stuff. I have the astrology report, which is just a computer report, and then I have the videos that are general readings for each side. But if you want a personal year ahead, then end of December is going to be the deadline on that. Thanks to everybody for a great 2021, and as we move into 2022, we're kicking it off with this powerful energy to create our reality. I wish you all the best. Have the best new moon ever. Do your new moon rituals. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate, and pull in the higher realms to what you want to create in this 3D life that we are in. construct I was going to say that we're in. Okay, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you again soon. Bye. Talk to you again soon. Bye.